Greubel Forsey is for sure introducing one of the star timepieces of this 2017 SIHH. Let's go and find out directly with Mr. Stephen Forsey. So this year you're presenting something that represents kind of the pinnacle for any watchmaker, and this was quite a long development. Can you come a little bit back on this timepiece, exceptional timepiece, I should say?
Thank you, Marc-André. So for SIHH 2017, Greubel Forsey is very delighted to share publicly the Grande Sonnerie wristwatch from Greubel Forsey. So as you mentioned, a long development, because we started with a blank sheet of paper, drew our own specification, Mr. Greubel, myself, and with our team, of what we wanted to be able to offer the collector in a Grande Sonnerie. We're talking about no fewer than 11 different securities which we have built in, integrated into this Grande Sonnerie. For instance, just a very obvious one, normally a striking watch, when it's striking, you do not touch the winding crown to make a setting. So if you forget, with the Greubel Forsey Grande Sonnerie, we have a security mechanism isolating that power, that hand setting feature, so that you're just in winding position all the time. And then moving on from there, so it needed to be a piece which would be able to showcase the expertise of the watchmakers, of our movement finishers. So the movement side, we have a beautiful display of all of the mechanism of striking, the racks, the striking release mechanism, and then completed with, interestingly, first time on a Greubel Forsey timepiece, it has a winding weight, but there is a twist. The winding weight for the self-winding only winds the striking barrel, because for us, in a purist approach, a mechanical timepiece is hand wound. So you can keep that interaction for the collector, which is really nice, and yet for the striking side, it encourages the collector to wear the piece, because if he does so, as it strikes in Grande Sonnerie, or if he wants to use the minute repeater function, then he can still keep the piece winding as he's moving during the day.
But when you're winding the watch, does it also wind the barrel dedicated to the chiming mechanism?
Yeah, of course. So in one direction we wind the movement in the traditional sense, and then in the other direction we wind the striking barrel as well. So you can, if the piece has been waiting to be used, then you can always wind that initially from that side.
And in terms of power reserve, both for the watch side, the timekeeping side, and the chiming dimension, what are we talking about?
So, of course, we're looking at, for the striking mechanism in full Grande Sonnerie, striking hours and quarters every quarter of the hour, we're looking at around 20 hours on one full wind, without using the self-winding feature. And on the movement side, so 72 hours chronometric power reserve, which we are often, which we're used to sharing at Greubel Forsey, but with a twist. Our Grande Sonnerie is not just a Grande Sonnerie, it also has a 24-second fast-rotating inclined tourbillon, our third invention from Greubel Forsey.
And coming back on the gongs themselves, because now you just talked about this tourbillon cage there, and the gongs are actually going around it. How complicated was that to manufacture and develop? Well,
yeah, indeed. So you've seen the piece. We haven't shown it on screen yet here, but as you mentioned, so with the tourbillon, it's in asymmetric case architecture for this Grande Sonnerie. So as you mentioned, the gongs actually have to go around that tourbillon cage. So when you see them on their own, they're a very, very incredible piece of expertise in terms of machining and mechanics to get that together. Each of the gongs, they're cathedral gongs, so they're extra long to give a rich quality of sound. There's one piece for the two notes, so, and then they have to curve around that section where the tourbillon is there. So it really is quite a masterpiece, because there's not a lot of extra room left inside the case.
And this watch is also naturally a minute repeater on demand by pressing on the crown.
Yes, indeed. So that comfortable feature using the striking barrel, so we can have a minute repeating function available just by simply pressing the crown at any time. So striking hours, quarters with a ting-tang, and then the minutes on the high note down to the nearest minute.
Fantastic. And you've also introduced some other novelties here, a few variations of existing model, but also kind of the end of one of your iconic watch.
So for this year, we've decided to close the edition of the first caliber of the 24-second asymmetric. So this is a piece which we showcased the first time back in Basel some years ago now. And we always explained, because each piece was individually numbered, that we would only make small quantities. So for us, as we did a few years ago with the double tourbillon Vision, we had a historic edition which certified on that piece that there were how many of that movement were built. So the 24-second edition historic today is certifying the end of that caliber. So it maintaining the rarity of those pieces for the collector. And in total, there will have been 183 of the caliber built. So that englobes all of the different versions. So there were gold versions with clear silver dial and an anthracite, 2 of each. And then the platinum version, and now the 2x11 historique in red gold or platinum. And it's very interesting, a nicely reworked case in terms of creation with Robert Greubel and our team. And then the dial multi-section in gold, multi-layer, multi-level, with small seconds on a disc and power reserve also on a disc. And then a section with that relief text on a sapphire plate, metallized galvanic growth relief text, and then finished off with a backdrop of hand-fired oven enamel.
And you've also introduced different versions of the signature model that was introduced quite recently.
Yes, the signature one was first presented SIHH 2016, and there we explained the caliber would be a total of 66 pieces, but we only showed 3 of the versions of 11 each, so half of the caliber run. So this year we will be able to release and show the platinum version, 11 pieces only ever made, and then 2 edition of steel case to complete that run of 66 of the caliber. One of those with a rather nice the rose gold finish to the movement, and the other one with a more dark background, so giving a really, really beautiful. It's a piece which found a lot of excitement, a lot of interest. The smallest diameter Greubel Forsey that's been in the collection, and with the slimmest height, so very nice combination.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Marc-André. Enjoy the show.